Hey, everybody, welcome to this episode of the Disc Golf Answer Man.
Hey, Disc Golf Answer Man. This is Andrew. I live in Minnesota. Right
Yes,
now,
you
we
do.
go out and play morning rounds, and it's about 25, 30 degrees out when we go. I'm just wondering if you have any advice as far as layering up and still be able to retain your flexibility when you're wearing a mountain of clothes to try to stay warm. Also, just listening to episode 195. Robert, if you're ever in Minnesota, give me a call. I'll come caddy for you.
My man. That's what I'm talking about.
So my advice is you just need one layer and a fireplace, and don't go play.
Yeah.
It's too cold to play in 25
Step one,
degrees.
put on your jacket.
Right.
Step two, lock the door and stay inside.
Right, exactly.
Just don't go outside. Oh, okay. Well, when I layer up for cold weather, and usually the cold weather that I played in Texas was, 30 was like the coldest. And I'm certainly not going out if it's 30 in Texas. But because we're here in Kansas, it's a little bit colder, a little bit more consistently. And so when I layer up, I like to do kind of like actually what I'm doing right now, a long sleeve shirt. I do like a vest because you get some more core warmth, but your arms are still flexible. And then if I'm going to wear a bigger jacket, you want to get your biggest bang for your buck with as few layers as possible. Because the more that you pack in on your chest and arms, the more difficult it is to stay flexible. So vest weather is not just a fashion statement. It's useful for everybody, as evidenced by my vest today.
Thank
you, Austin.
Do you have any secrets when you go play in the cold, Jeremy?
I just don't go play in the cold.
Yeah.
Hot hands, more hot hands, and I usually have some Under Armour tights.
You know what was amazing?
Yes.
When we went to, what did we go to that was at Maple Hill?
Vibram.
Was it the Vibram Open?
Yeah.
And someone gave us those feet warmers.
Yeah.
Those were lifesavers.
Who gave us those?
Jason,
That was
Southwick,
from
Marshall
Marshall
Street.
Street.
Our
Yes.
shout out to
Thank
our
you
good
so
friends
much.
over there at Marshall Street. Oh, those were lifesavers.
Those were amazing. My feet stayed so warm.
Yeah.
It was so cozy.
Right.
My
And those are the
hands-
ones where it goes on the bottom of your sock. You take the adhesive off and it sticks to the bottom of your sock. And yeah, that was fantastic. It was cold outside. It was wet on the ground. And my feet stayed warm for most of the day. I was on my feet and going through the wet a lot more. But for the most part, it was pretty good.
The biggest thing that from the Marine Corps, I remember because we would have to go out in the cold and stuff like that. It's coughing. No, cough a lot. It makes your body warm. No, is that, and this may be common sense, but layers. And layers are important because you can shed the layers if you need to, because you don't want to wear one big heavy coat that you get too hot and then you begin to sweat, and then that sweat actually starts to get cold, and then it's like a reverse effect of trying to stay warm. So that's why the layering is very important, because if you need to, you can shed a layer without going with nothing on and being too cold. So you definitely want to do layers, even in your pants. A lot of people will bundle up top, but then they'll just wear one pair of jeans, not realizing if they wore some long johns or thermals or whatever from wherever you're at, you call it. That gives you some layers that you can later on in the second round, when it gets pretty warm, you can take the thermals off and still put your jeans back on and still be nice and warm.
Yeah. And waterproof shoes too. Even if there's slightest bit of moisture on the ground, if your shoes get wet and it's cold outside, you might as well quit. Like you're basically dead at that point. So just don't do that. Waterproof shoes.
And if you want a secret tip, this is another thing they made us do in the Marine Corps. When we went on hikes, 15-mile hikes, socks. We would change our socks probably 2 or 3 times, and it's works wonders on your between rounds to change your socks. It just kind of freshens your feet up and stuff like that.
Oh yeah, yeah. You have a new lease on life after the first round if it's cold or wet or both. When you put fresh socks on, it's like I've never felt better ever. Maybe not, but still, it's very great. So there.